Hi, everyone. Hi, Scott. Hi, Michelle.
Hi,
John. Hello, Little Johns. Hello, Lily Johns. Claire, Jackie, Michigan people in the house. Oh, Michelle, I never did ask you anything about those dams breaking close to family or anything.
Not close to my family. No, that was north of where we live.
Yeah, it was north of us. I was just talking to Stacy about that. I didn't even know about it.
Okay, that looks a little crazy. Hello, Jonathan Siebert. Jonathan just made an Epcot wall, which was wonderful. So welcome to TMSM LOL, Michelle.
Hi. We have lots to talk about, don't we?
Yes, Scott is grilling up some hot dogs for us. So that'll be a good thing. Are you allowed to in your house? You have a flame going. Don't open flame, right?
It's on the contrary.
It's all the rage right now, from what I hear.
All the rage.
All the rage.
Me and Scott are going to open up Hibachi Brothers next week. We don't even know where. Wherever is available spot, we're just going to open up.
That way we don't have to pay rent.
Oh my goodness.
I can't. I just can't handle it.
So do you want to talk about the hot dog gate after, or what do you?
Let's talk about you know what? Should we mention hot dog gate first or after? You decide. What's first?
Where it started.
Well, how about we talk about should we talk about what's going on at the Springs first and then talk hot dogs?
Okay, yeah. Let's do that. So you went to the Springs. Tell me what you saw, what you experienced, and what did forget what you read on social media. What was your overall perception of how it went?
You want to go ahead?
No, go ahead. I'm making sure.
I thought it went well. I thought they did a really good job of it. I did run into Matt Simon down there, the vice president of the Springs, and I was talking to him about it and how great it was that they brought this all back together. And he was excited. I mean, he really was. He was just so excited to see people back down there, having a good time. Everybody just seemed to be happy to be out and some type of Disney. You know, yes. It's been missed for too long now. And the fact that we were able to go down there and walk around, we saw a lot of people. It's odd not to be able to walk up to somebody and shake their hand or hug them if you normally would or anything like that. So that was a little on the odd side, but it was still great to see people because we all work together, so we all know each other. So it was kind of cool to see that. We did not go to the pop-up hot dog stand. I'm thinking maybe next time, but I don't know where it'll be.
Maybe. We're going to talk hot dogs pretty soon, though.
Michelle did send me some video that she took at the Springs. And before you watch it, I'm going to tell you, I'm using this as an opportunity to make fun. You know how much I love Michelle and brag about her. Michelle is talented, everything. But this I had to get. She filmed some stuff, and she has this tendency to spin to the left. So I sped it up a little bit, this video that I'd like to show you this clip. Don't get whiplash. Don't go to the ER. If you have to look away from the screen, I understand. But come on, tell me that it wasn't a little turny. I really thought that you were on a teacup, maybe. And listen, I get it. I get it. You want to show everything, and you feel like if you stop, you're not getting the whole story. You're not giving the people, because I used to do that actually until I had someone yell at me and say, "Stop it!" Like you're on a bungee cord. But you got to stop and let people focus. I thought for sure, oh, she's on T-Rex. We're gonna stop. Oh no, we're not stopping there. We're going. Well, I'm sorry. Let me see the comments. I haven't even looked.
It was all of Disney Springs in 45 seconds.
Claire Leota. Just that name makes me think of the Haunted Mansion.
Oh, it feels so good.
Okay, so
I gotta get some Dramamine.
So I do have the Disney Springs clip. A minute. Should we show that of
Mine wasn't good enough for you.
yours actually was good, but let's show this and then we'll talk about it. I didn't use the whole thing here.
I'm so excited to open. We've been waiting for this moment since we closed a couple months ago. And this moment is the time for our guests to come onto the property and see all the new safety measures while enjoying Disney Springs for the special place that it is. We're implementing new safety measures to ensure that our guests can enjoy Disney Springs. And we've got an incredible group of cast members here circulating throughout the property to assist them in this way. It's a really exciting time here. We've got many new health and safety measures that are in place in coordination with government and local authorities, and we've got an incredible group of cast to help our guests navigate them as they experience Disney Springs.
Sorry, I'm back.
That was a quick intro. That was quick.
That was quick. I think somebody's telling. Is my mic loud or low? Mark, is it loud or low?
It's
Fine. You can probably back off of it.
Okay, I'm going to back down a little bit. Somebody's telling me I'm a little loud.
No,
yours is good. Yours is good. Okay, so your perception, go ahead, start with the temperature check and stuff that they did.
Okay, so honestly, I was a little bit not concerned, but I was curious. Let's use curious, not concerned, about how it was going to be not being able to just like walk into the springs like usual, because usually you just get out of your car, you walk, you're there. But you get out of the car and they're doing temperature checks on the second floor. It was in the orange garage, and it was so they kind of like funnel you into one area, and then Advent Health workers are there. You stand in line. They do the no contact temperature check.
Yeah, it's infrared. They put towards your forehead, but it doesn't go out.
Yeah, so they basically just kind of do one of those, and it's over so fast. And it went out. I don't know if they weren't that busy, no. So that it's kind of hard to judge because we didn't really have to wait to get in. We just walked right up to the lady with the thermometer. And done. It was that fast.
Yeah, we were there roughly at 9:30 approximately when we got there. We decided to go a little bit earlier because we didn't know if there'd be a line. We didn't know if they were going to let you in early. We didn't know how it was going to work. But we wanted to be there early in case there was a flood of people.
Yeah.
We wanted to try to beat the crowds and be able to get there before all that happened. And it was pretty quick.
It was actually
good.
Hi, Renee.
Hi, Renee.
I just saw this.
So actually, it was much easier than I thought it was going to be.
Yes.
And quick and efficient. And then when you go down the escalators to go into the springs, like there's, I have people say, well, how do you know what you can and can't do? The restrictions, the rules, the whatever. They had a sign right at the end of the escalator as far as like what they're expecting as far as like the safety, whatever. And there's signs all over the place. And there's like markers on the ground, of like stop here. Even outside the restroom, like there was like a thing.
The 6-foot line.
The line.
Did you see the hand wash stations?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And lots of Purell stations all over.
And those were the ones you do pump, right? You have to touch them to pump it. I'm surprised because they said it would be, the contactless ones where you put your hand under and the sensor just drops the soap.
Well, yeah, I think was that what they had?
I can't remember.
Oh, okay.
I didn't. You know what? Now that you say that, I can't remember. I know I used one. I can't remember what it was like.
I don't know either. That's a really good question. But they all over.
And they have a lot of arrows on the ground directing which way traffic. So in the video you played, it shows the arrows on the cement. And they are very big on that. One side of the cement goes one way, the other side is to keep traffic split.
But they didn't have to worry about that because it wasn't busy.
Right.
Now, like on a Friday night or a Saturday night, it might be completely different as far as crowd-wise and getting people to distance, I guess.
I'm sure they're going to control the crowd also. So even if a big crowd shows up, maybe there won't be a big crowd in there yet.
I would assume so. That would be my guess. And then yesterday it was reported earlier Orange and Lime would both be open, but when we got there, it was only the Orange garage was open. So we were assuming that they were going to fill Orange, then open Lime from there, which we did see people coming in off the Lime garage.
Yeah, but when we got there first thing in the morning, it was only Orange, and they originally said it was supposed to be both.
See, from everyone's opinion, including yours who were there, it was a big success. It wasn't until you get home and read social media that the pictures are posted that no one wore their face mask and no one did that. I mean, I'm sure there are pieces of that. We saw Hot Dog Lady, but
we're going to talk about her. Yeah. But I think for the most part, I didn't see anybody trying to get away with being sneaky and not doing what they're supposed to do.
Right.
I think, and I didn't see anybody crabbing at anybody, because you know how sometimes people get fussy because they don't want to comply with the new rules and yada yada. But I think everybody was on their best behavior yesterday. Yes. Let's just say it like that.
Disney just released something. Becky, I don't even know if you've seen this yet. I don't know how quick she gets the updates from the media people and stuff. But they did show that the travel size barbecue is okay. By the way, I really thought this was real. When it first got released, I thought that was real for a second.
It can't be propane though. It has to be charcoal. It's propane.
Okay, so can we?
Propane. If that tank explodes,
can we talk about how viral that went and how fast? I mean,
I wish it was our video.
I wish it was us that saw Hot Dog Lady. You know?
And we stood right outside there talking to somebody.
We did, and we were right outside because we figured out that Hot Dog Lady was outside Raglan Road. Now, for those that don't know what we're talking about, there was a lady with a mini barbecue grill cooking on a plastic table outside of Raglan Road.
On hibachi.
On like a grill. Now, there's all kinds of things wrong with this scenario. I mean, all kinds. First of all, you're not supposed to have a cookout at Disney Springs and on a plastic table. And it was so funny because the pictures showed that they came prepared, John. They had paper plates and napkins and ketchup and the whole thing. They were having a picnic. I mean,
and Cheryl's question here, by the way, I don't think she means did it really happen. I think she means did the person plan on going viral perhaps for attention or something? You don't know. No. She might have said this is a great, Disney's going to try to stop us. We'll pull the, hey, we needed kosher food card. We'll go viral, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I really don't. I don't know why it was allowed to go because you're just not allowed. The truth is there's always going to be things that, and I want to say that we're joking around about it. And we do understand that certain people have certain needs, whether it be vegan, gluten-free, kosher. But then you stay home. This was the first day of opening from a pandemic. Stay home or eat before you go.
Or bring sandwiches.
How about a sandwich?
Please, there's so many ways to have avoided this. It was not necessary.
But think about what could have happened. Let's think worst case scenario. You're barbecuing on a plastic table. That grill could have burned right through that table.
And then they would have sued Disney.
And then whose fault is it if somebody got hurt from her barbecue grill?
Michael Shabetta, who says he was there, if you can tell me in the chat room, do you know if security sat there for the whole time that she was there? Because apparently they allowed it. Did they have somebody on duty?
Asked them to leave. Like, take your hot dog grill and go, I thought.
You can't just turn off a grill. I mean, it's still going to be hot.
Yeah, how do you, and that's another thing. How do you pack up a grill to go home? And you can't just put it back in your bag.
Unless it's one of those cheap ones you buy at the store that's $1 or $2 in their aluminum tray with charcoal and a mesh wire to cook your hot dogs on it. But you know what? Doesn't BB Wolf have hot dogs? You could run over there.
Oh, yes. The place over on the walkway over there, they sell stuff.
Right, but apparently they needed kosher and they were not kosher. Again, that's on them. I get it. Totally. I'm just,
There is no place in Disney Springs that has kosher.
maybe not now because only like 6 locations opened, right? So it's understandable if that's the case
There's
now.
enough places
There was
open
a plenty
to
of places
where
to eat. Yeah, there was a lot that were open to eat.
you
And
know,
Starbucks was the surprise because nobody expected that. That was open.
the busiest place down there was Starbucks yesterday.
Did you see Starbucks had a welcome back drink?
I did.
Yes.
Did
I
you
did.
did
I
you
took a
get it?
picture of that sign. Yeah.
Oh, do you remember what was in it? It was kind of weird for me.
And it was like different fruits together from what I
Yeah.
remember. Wait,
Okay.
Michael just answered.
Hold on.
There you
The
go.
thing is, the CM told table users had to walk away. The deed was done. Yet there's for majesty. Yeah, they must have watched them for a while. I guess what I didn't like is that even before they were dining, they did not have masks on, and that I thought was a double.
Yeah, it was kind of a here you go. Go to City Walk and do that. Don't do that at Disney.
No, Cheryl, do not do that. Do not.
You cannot bring a grill to Disney Springs. You cannot.
I'm telling you, Hibachi Brothers, it's a thing.
I'm having shirts made right now.
Okay, so other than that, though, this is a good framework for reopening things. Now, something else happened today with Universal Studios.
See,
Now,
go ahead.
when they first spoke, they said, we are planning on reopening June 1st, and everybody who's not responsible ran to their keyboards and wrote, Universal is reopening June 1st. And then they quickly said, first was for their own cast to get things in order. Second and third was for, I think, more
AP
of their...
holders and I think AP,
Oh, yes.
yeah.
And then the second through the fourth was, right, AP holders and maybe some limited people of some sort.
Yeah.
Local,
Maybe family.
locals or families, yeah.
Yeah.
And then on the 5th, we are going to have a actual general public Universal Studios opening, which is weird that they're not doing like Shanghai where you have to make a reservation to get in the park. On the 5th, if you want to go, it seems you could be able to.
And is it going to be a first come first serve? Because once they hit their
I know they're going to have
limits-
capacity. They're going to have you can't. It's not a free for all as of yet. They're going to have limits as far as how many people they're going to let in.
So we got to tamp those expectations down just in case you get there and they say no.
Now, did you go to City Walk yet? You haven't been to City Walk yet.
I am.
Not yet.
Because we were talking to one of our partners in crime yesterday, and they did go to City Walk, and they said there was more staff than there was people walking around the other night.
Yeah, they said that there was hardly anybody walking around at City Walk. So
I think there's just a lot of people waiting, watching, hoping for the best, watching what goes on. It's almost like the roller coaster was broke, and now that it's fixed, we just want to see it go around the track a little bit before we get on.
Okay, yeah.
that's a really great analogy too, because there's still we went yesterday, but we didn't go to City Walk last week. And you and I have talked about this over and over, like when we feel safe to go, when's a good time to go. And I will honestly tell you yesterday, and I'm not just saying that because we do Disney and we're in good with Disney. I'm saying it because it's true. I didn't feel unsafe yesterday at all.
Not at all.
The cast members were very welcoming and upbeat and made people feel just that extra little bit. I mean, even when you got out of the car and you're going towards the temperature check, cast members were welcome back, and they're just so
I heard you talk to them, and I was so happy to hear the banter back and forth. It just felt like we're back at Disney.
Yes.
It was some of the activities counselors from the resorts that they brought to the Springs to kind of keep the upbeat feeling going down there. So kind of the same people that keep the kids entertained at the resorts were the ones keeping it upbeat and such at the Springs, which was a great idea to do that, because that way it gets, as soon as you're there, welcome back. Well, we're excited you're here. So happy.
You know where the entertainment people were, which I found funny? Were for the establishments that had a line to get in, because you can only have so many in, like Uniqlo, the big clothing store. There was a line on the side for people to get in. They had an entertainment person there. There was a line to get into the boathouse, and they had an entertainment coordinator over there. So even if you had to wait to get in someplace, they were trying to make it good for you.
The queue line was good.
It was like a queue to go eat. Yeah. Yes, Haley, the cast members were outstanding.
Yep, they were wonderful. Every one of them. We talked to the one at Starbucks for a while because of course, you moved 6 feet and then you had to wait. And even the guy we stood there and talked to, he was just, "Aren't you so glad to be back? And we're so happy you're here." And
even for safety reasons too, a couple of our friends and Main Street Mouse staff were up there with us, and we went over to Earl Sandwich to eat. And Earl has the same distancing stickers on the ground They had like plexiglass around like where you pay
The registers.
the registers. It didn't feel. It just again that whole secure feeling. It felt safe. The food was good, and then when you go outside to eat, you don't have to wear your mask. But obviously, when you're outside,
Where you're sitting down to eat.
yeah.
And then the drinks, because usually Earl Sandwich, you walk up and get your own beverage.
Yeah.
They even had their people, they had it roped off kind of. You just go up and say, I'll have a Coke, I'll have a Diet Coke, and they bring it to you.
Karen from the Hamptons.
I think, Michelle, you and I are going to go on the 27th to World of Disney, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Scott, yeah, you too. Yeah, we'll eat again at Earl of Sandwich. I like eating outside right now with big tables, rather than dining
We were
in.
spaced out. There was a empty table in between each table.
You
so-
didn't feel like you were sitting too close to anybody, but it wasn't really that crowded. Now I'm curious when they start opening like the Disney establishments, like World of Disney, the Co-op. Is it going to be busier then? You know what I mean? Because like
We'll see.
people want to get in the stores, and follow me for a second. It was very strange. It was almost like looking in the windows at the stores was like time stood still. You saw all the merchandise and such from March. A lot of the 2020 merchandise was up front because it was still like beginning of the year type of stuff. It was just like time stood still.
Yeah, the Mulan posters are
The
still up all
Mulan
around the
posters,
AMC theater.
which never came out in March, is up on, and even the old movie at AMC theater, they're old movies that the posters.
Rise of Skywalker was still up there. Onward was up.
Do you know, when I go to World of Disney on the 27th, I want to do like Disney nostalgic things. I want to buy a plush Mickey Mouse. I just want to go back to simple, childlike comfort things.
Disney.
Yeah.
We were, because I love to shop, and I was dying to get into World of Disney, so I did one of these in the window. And you know how like the one half of the store, they always have like the screens in the back, like at Christmas time or Halloween, they had like it's like
area
a
that always
holiday.
changes.
That area that always changes. That whole back wall is empty right now. So they're revamping World of Disney this week. So what it's going to look like next week is going to be interesting to see, because they're going to have to get with whatever the merchandise is now.
Right. And whatever
the
merchandise
theme
they've
is
been
now.
waiting to put out, because that merchandise is made well in advance. So
Yeah.
whatever's coming out was what was set to come out at this time. I just wonder what we've missed and what's going to end up at the outlets at Vineland and at,
Listen, I think that everything they had planned for this Flower and Garden was so awesome, food-wise and merch-wise. I really hope that next year, just don't do the research and development. Can we just repeat what we were going to do?
Yeah.
With a few changes, but
Great this year, and that's what I keep saying. When they open the outlets, because Disney outlets aren't open yet, are they going to have all that stuff from Flower and Garden? Because the festival was only open a week, and they have all that Flower and Garden merchandise that's sitting there.
And it's
it has the year on it, right, with the date.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they can't use it again for next year, so it's going to have to go to the outlet for the discount. But we were doing that with all the Disney stores. I was peeking in the Marvel stores, see if there's anything new, and I didn't know there was a Marvel Spirit jersey that came out. So guess where I'll be as soon as that store opens? I will be purchasing.
He's like, there's a Marvel jersey
I know, I was
in
ready to
there.
rip the door off the wall and go ahead and get it. I'll leave the money on the register. Just give me my jersey.
Did we ever get info on the Marvel thing in California? When it's
No.
opening? Anything? We know it's probably delayed.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
But what's
Okay.
good is the delay might not come till August or September. So if we're going, we'll be out there in time for the overlay of the mansion.
That's what he's hoping for.
So that's what I'm hoping to see more of.
Yeah, Tony, I do think it's going to come back. Before you know it, I think you're going to be able to travel again. I don't know. I think it's going to be sooner than later, hopefully. We don't have any word on Disney. People wrote me after the Universal announcement saying, oh, Disney's a follower. Let me tell you, sometimes being patient and observing is being much more of a leader than being the first one out of the gate. I think Disney has a bigger operation, a lot more employees. I'm not saying Universal isn't doing well by opening. I just think, let's not say, one's doing something and the other. Do we know is Disney planning on giving their presentation in a few days, or we don't know?
They haven't announced it.
You know what?
Okay.
There's talk that they may do it next week or the week after, but there's been nothing said. Now, yesterday afternoon, if you remember, the news hit that Disney was supposed to do their presentation today, and then they retracted it in like a half hour, because that's not somewhere the lines got crossed, and it wasn't Disney today.
I'm sure Disney has their plan all written up. They might be tweaking it, but this has been worked on for a lot longer than
I think
we
they
know.
were waiting to see what happened at the Springs too before they release a plan. They want to see
Yeah.
they want to see how that went. And when we were leaving the Springs, there was cast members there doing surveys. They wanted to know
Yes.
what you thought of the Springs and what happened and how you thought they handled it. So they were trying to get firsthand data right there,
Yeah.
which tells me they're probably going to use that in their plan for the parks. I mean, if Springs goes well, that's going to give us the open door to the parks. But if the Springs went bad or started cause issues, they would have to delay the parks until they could fix that issue. So
Yeah,
Springs
I
was a
agree.
success to me. I thought thumbs up on it. I thought it
Oh,
was
yeah. Yeah. You know what though? I'm gonna spring a controversial topic on you because I did.
Go ahead, give it to me. I love
Are
it.
you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Now I want you to follow what I'm trying to say and go with me here. Usually, John, we've been friends for like 10 years. You can follow me. Okay.
I'm with you. Go
All
ahead.
right. Okay. So masks. If you go on anywhere on social media, there is a big old fuss about face masks. Whether it's they're for it, against it, it's too hot, people feel safer. The debate is whew. Okay. Now, here's where I'm gonna throw a wrench at you. Now, Disney,
if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge
like
a Disney
dodgeball.
wrench.
So Disney usually will, I don't want to use the word cave, but I'm going to say cave, to guests whatever they want. You know, if a guest goes to Disney, they try to make it whatever the problem is, they try to fix it. Okay. Now, masks. There are so many people that don't want to wear them for whatever reason. Now, Disney right now is not caving. They're not budging. And I'm wondering what makes this different than, say...
Selfie stick?
Well, okay, selfie stick. They would make them take the selfie stick and put it in a locker. They take it away from them and whatever. But like, say, all right, I'm going to say this nicely, and I don't mean to cause fuss.
Oh, go ahead. Come on, we're all friends here.
Okay.
You don't have to stand on ceremony.
Let's say you show up with, Larry, your service flamingo. And I need Larry.
It could happen.
I need Larry to go in the park with me. I need Larry. He's my flamingo. I need him. Now, cast member might try to tell you, you don't need Larry. But if I need my service flamingo, eventually that guest is going to win and bring in their flamingo.
Wait, no, I say no. They're
They're
not going to win.
They would have pre-COVID.
Oh, okay.
Pre-COVID. Disney would probably give them a little leeway. But this mask situation, they're not budging. I was watching the local news tonight, and they had this couple, they were standing outside on the street, talking to people. I don't know why they were over there. They were talking to people who were turned away from the Springs because they wouldn't put a mask on.
And did they have purchase masks available if you didn't have one?
No. They said that, I'm getting my Universal and my Disney mixed up. One of them said if you don't have one, they would give you a temporary medical one. Oh. So let's say
there was a lot of those yesterday.
There was a lot of those. So if you didn't have one, they gave you one of the disposable ones.
The little blue ones.
Then there's no excuse. Then if you still don't want to wear one, you have to stay home.
Yep.
So, but do you see what I'm saying? How this is one thing that Disney is not giving the guests their way on.
Right. You're saying Disney, they're changing. They have to change and not be so Disneyfied when it comes to this. And hopefully it doesn't change them from other guest satisfaction and guest recovery. I understand what you're saying. Yeah, I get it.
Like, because normally...
It's a culture change in the business.
Something happened. When this whole COVID thing came up, Disney had to stop in how they do things for the greater good of, everybody, the safety in the parks, the safety of cast members, and they want to give everybody, you can tell, you could feel the vibe yesterday that people just want to get back to normal. People want, that cast members were happy to be there. Guests were happy to be there. But in order to continue on that same path, they have to make some changes, and they have to make sure.
I really believe the mask somehow became a political thing.
Yeah.
And I really wish that our leaders would just, if you want us to use the mask and you say we should use it, wear one. Because by not wearing it, you have people seeing it thinking that they're pro, go against the man. Like, come on.
Here's my thing, though. If Disney tells us to go there, we have to wear a mask. That's the rule. Just like if you go there, you have to wear a shirt.
If you come into my house and I got my new floor, you have to take off your shoes. Otherwise, you're not coming in. It's my house.
Rule for your house, and this is the rule for their house. And if you don't abide by the rule, then you know what? I'm sorry to say, but stay home for right now, because the safety of everybody who's there is what matters right now. And that's the biggest thing we need to keep in mind until things get to whatever our new normal will be. This is what we need to roll with. And there is going to be a new normal eventually. It's just when we get there. And Disney, and like I said on Monday Night Show, this is going to be a new Disney we're not used to. We're used to the Disney that basically whatever you're going to do, they're going to somehow make it work to accommodate you for whatever you want. And I don't think they can do that as much now in the light of public safety.
Yeah. And to answer David, there are people that just want attention. They really do. I mean, that's sometimes true. just for clicks. Let's see what you're going to see a vlogger at some point go, let's see what happens if we attempt to go in without a mask just to film it. Like, come on, just, I don't know.
I did see a guy, she went into one of the stores and I stayed outside because I just didn't want to take up another space in their store because of the capacities. I sat outside and I did see a guy walking by, videotaping with his phone. He pulled his mask down because he was talking into the phone the whole time he walked. So, but he had a handkerchief he could pull right back up, but he was still walking around with it pulled down talking. And I'm like, why are you doing that? You're supposed to be the example. If you're one of the bloggers. And,
well, everybody was a blogger yesterday. Everybody had a camera yesterday.
I've never seen so many selfie sticks and
the not selfie stickers, is the stabilizers.
I'm sorry, I'll mute myself.
No, you're so, but it was the whole point is that if you, like you said, with the shoes in your house or rules and whatever, if you don't want to, if you feel that wearing a mask and following these rules do not fit what you are comfortable with, then you're welcome to stay home until
for some reason people have turned it into some sort of a right, and it's not. It's private property. You're paying to go, all that kind of stuff. So,
and you know what's funny is yesterday I just gotta say this. So I'm used to when I put out content, I'm just putting out stuff to share because, hi Christine, because I'm just trying to be cheery and Disney and blah blah blah. So like I put out a picture yesterday. I don't know about the ride.
It's a good question. We will find that out, Tammy. I'm assuming you will have to, and as long as they're hooked up.
In between, but that's
well, I posted a picture yesterday and I was touching a statue, and people were like, "Oh my gosh, you're touching something." Well, I
even told you that.
I sat down in a chair when I ate my lunch. I touched a door. I walked in a store. It's like, but they have so much hand sanitizer, and I'm already a germaphobe. I always have hand sanitizer with me anyway, always. It's just like
there's no way to be 100%. It's just not. You can't. You're still a human being. Whenever somebody tells me don't touch my face, do you remember in school when they say you can't laugh and you laugh more? When somebody says don't touch my face, all of a sudden I'm itchy everywhere.
The biggest problem I had with the mask, John, and you'll have it too. My goatee was sweating, and it was
he was like doing this. He was itching so bad yesterday.
That was the worst part of it for me, was just getting used to. And I told her, I said, I'm gonna shave this off until this is all over because it bugged me so bad.
Right.
He was like itching, and we got a Starbucks and we were walking around, and I will tell you honestly, I didn't know what to do for a few minutes. I'm holding my Starbucks and I have my straw and I have a mask on. I'm like,
we need a little Velcro hole in the mask. That
I didn't want to break the rules, so I flipped the bottom of my mask up and I take a sip, and then I told him, I said, let's go find a place to sit where we can drink our Starbucks without. I just didn't want to be that person. I didn't want to be that person who would be like. Ooh. But then when I saw people eating outside, they didn't have a mask on, obviously.
So there's pictures everywhere of Michelle from the Mainstream Mouse taking off her mask at Disney Springs, throwing caution to the wind.
So I'm guessing Michael goes to the restroom, takes off the mask for a little bit just to get a breather.
And the masks are hot. I'm not going to lie. They're necessary right now, but they're warm.
But there's different degrees on it, because we have two different ones. And the one that was more like a neoprene is a lot worse than the one that was more of a cloth.
Like the breathable, like cotton. Cloth. There's different kinds.
So it's just finding whichever one works best for you. And
yeah, but it's temporary. And I keep telling people, I don't know what you're telling people, John, when they ask you. I just say, we just kind of gotta comply right now till we get over this hump to where we can find some sort of normal. Because there, like we said before, there's Halloween and Christmas and all these things that are coming up, and we want to get back to normal, like somehow.
Yeah, I'm saying some magic is better than none, and there will be a vaccine eventually where we may not have to worry about this so much at all, and things will get back to much more than like normal. Until then, I want some of my Disney.
I'll take some. It's better than nothing. And
I agree.
And like some people are like, well, why are we releasing so early? Why are we getting back? If we don't get back now, we're never going to get back. If we wait another 6 months, nothing changes. We're still in the exact same position we are now because nobody's getting out there. Nobody has the chance to get the virus or spread it or whatever's out there. We have to get out there. We got to rebuild our immunities to these things, and we got to get moving again. And sitting around is not the answer in this case.
It's not.
Being cautious is the answer. That's it. You just have to be cautious.
And I may be looking at this way too positively, and play along with me here.
okay.
I know this isn't the way we wanted it to happen, but people are begging for theme parks that are less crowded. If we could get over the mask for just a little bit, now is the time to have that after hours feeling without the after hours price. I mean, come on.
I've thought about that.
If somebody told you on a really crowded day at the Magic Kingdom where you're waiting 2 hours for an attraction, hey, put that mask on, each attraction will be a 5-minute wait. Do you know how quick I'm putting that mask on?
That's right. That's right.
I won't even take it down to eat.
Yeah, listen, the minute they open, I'd be looking to go on vacation. August, September, I'd be booking my trip because I want to go.
The advantage we're going to have being locals because a lot of people aren't going to be able to travel here when everything opens again. Some people have been off work for 2 months. Some people just financially can't afford to take a vacation
or
right now.
Or they just don't feel comfortable.
Or they're not comfortable. Safe to get on.
If Becky is still here, she could probably confirm, just an opinion. I know we don't know these things yet. But when this is all done and Disney finally reopens, I would assume there'd be some motivational sales to book your next trip. That free dining will come back, I would think.
Yeah.
I mean,
incentives for people to travel because I really think they're going to want people to they want them back in the parks.
Or could it go the other way where people want to travel so badly that it becomes a supply and demand thing that you can't get it?
I think it's going to be people's fear first of traveling.
Yeah.
Is going to stop them. Not being able to get time off from your job possibly, and financial. I mean, I think that's going to, for locals, the parks are going to be something different we've never experienced as locals. We're going to be able to walk on Seven Dwarfs, or not walk on, but not have a 2-hour wait. We're going to be able to get fast passes for these rides. We never get them.
We'll see how Rise of the Resistance magically changes. Somebody asked about pin trading and if we thought it goes away forever. I don't think it'll go away forever. As a matter of fact, is it now a thing? Yeah, I guess right now they don't want to touch and give. But if you're using the hand sanitizer, you really could do pin trading.
They had sanitizing stations all over the place. They really did. And
they need a pin trading sanitizing area.
Safe pin trading area with sanitizer.
And this I don't understand. Do they really expect people to travel here and stay for 2 weeks in a quarantine? I mean,
I know it was that way. I don't know if our governor has lifted that ban yet or not. I know that was a ban in effect, but I don't know if he's lifted it yet. I haven't heard.
It's funny you mentioned that because I talked to my dad on the phone this week, and they're home right now, so you bought your tickets months ago. Yeah, they're coming. Paula and Michelle are coming in for our October show. I was talking to my dad because he said, I should get your mom to come and travel now. They're in Michigan. And I said, you got to see if there's still that ban to where if you come here, you might get quarantined for 2 weeks. So you don't want to do that either.
That
who's enforcing that?
I don't know. I don't know.
They really haven't been talking about it much on the news. When it first happened, they were talking about it. But quarantining means you go to somebody's house or your hotel and you just have to stay there.
Nope.
Oh, that's true. That's a good point.
I think it matters on the modification and what the cost is. It may be that I'm saving enough that it's okay.
It depends what reality is. Then it depends.
And it depends on It depends on what the public feels about that. Is what Becky I think is saying because the supply and demand will. If people feel that they're going to wait, Disney will put things into effect that will make them not wait. I think.
Well, I'm going to use him for an example. He's dying to get out to Disneyland for Avengers Campus. And I know he was saying right now, if you look at travel things for fall now, everything is dirt cheap. But as soon as things start to open up again, those prices are going to rise.
That's why as soon as we get word I'm buying our tickets, then we'll announce it.
I might accompany you to Avengers Campus.
You
I want to see Spider-Man jumping and flipping around, knowing that he's not human. I didn't say that.
And you know what? They're going to do it so well. You know, people love the Spider-Man and the Marvel at Universal. Wait till Disney gets a hold of it. I mean, it's going to be awesome.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm doing this in front of everyone, but Scott, you have to meet Brandon Scott. Retro Spectrum, you got to talk to this guy. Scott, you'll be in your glory.
Okay.
Yeah, and yes, to answer your question, Brandon, he is.
I'm the Marvel guy.
Marvel. He loves Marvel everything. Don't you?
Yeah. And I'm a big Funko collector, so it all kind of goes together.
I think I'm becoming a bigger Funko collector than you lately. I still have your child here. I still have one for Becky, but try to get her address. It doesn't happen.
What did you say?
I have 498. How many do you have? Oh, 499, my child.
I think I have 26.
You're almost there. You and Jimmy combined could catch up to me pretty quick.
Okay, I get what she's saying.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's supply and demand is going to tell is you know what goes in the business anyway is going to happen here, and it's going to be very interesting to see what happens.
And even
so we might want to mention, I'm sorry, that Becky Mankin, who most people know, some may not, is the owner of MouseFanTravel.com, a division of MEI Travel, who really has been there for the people during this.
Oh, we're going right.
there.
That's Becky.
I know, I do it too.
Corner.
Yeah,
I'm like,
over there.
aha, that's Becky.
Yeah,
So-
check her out. They will take care of you. They will help you out every
Becky's
step.
the best. Any
They really
questions?
sacrificed their agents and everything were on the ball. Marla Chan, who's a real customer here, can attest to that, actually.
Yes. And you know, the travel agency, industry, you know, has been hurt so bad because of everything that's been going on, and they've been able to weather the storm. And you know, we're trying to look ahead. So I've had a lot of people ask questions about future trips and what they should do. Ask Becky.
You know what? They've helped airlines. They've helped farmers. I really wonder, did they help the travel agency industry at all? I don't know, but I'm really curious because, I mean, tourism just went.
I know the cruise lines asked for help. I mean,
Yeah.
they got it because there was something about they don't pay taxes to the U.S., but they're asking the U.S. to help them. And it's like, I don't know how that works.
Right, because they're mostly registered in the Bahamas, Liberia.
And it's
Let me
so
tell you,
funny-
I cannot wait to get back on a Disney cruise.
But I was going to ask you that, John. Did you notice that with all the talk about the parks and stuff, nobody's really talking about the cruise lines right now? It's like you don't hear anybody, like everybody is talking about other things that they need answers for right now, but they're not bugging about the cruise lines right now.
I will say, if you notice, we never heard anything Disney and COVID did not click. They keep that ship when I was there, and I've been on other ships, clean.
Very,
Very clean.
very clean, except for when I was quarantined, but we won't talk about that.
I'm just sad the new ships are delayed now. That's the.
Oh, they are the Wish and all that is
They
delayed.
had to be. They couldn't have been working on them, so it's got to be pushed back to whenever it'll be. I mean,
And they already got pushed when they got those announcements at D23 last summer. They changed the dates from then. So
Let's see. You look great with your hair. Like,
What does Yvonne want from Michelle?
what? Thank you so much. You know, because everybody watched my hair mishap last Halloween when I turned myself from Rapunzel to Ariel by mistake. But it's getting fixed. Thank you.
Okay, ASTA, I think, is the American Society of Travel Agents. Has gone to bat, but we qualify for some programs on small business too. However, we get paid when people travel. Cancel rebooks for the love of the client. Yeah.
Yep.
But what's amazing to me is not only are you to cancel takes time. You don't just do it. I mean, I remember because I used to be a travel agent. So you're not making any money now, and you have to do more work for the no money. And you didn't make any money from the time that you did the booking. So it's a hard thing. And let me tell you, whoever survives this, they deserve it. So
it's for the love of what they do. Like
Yeah.
it's similar to what we all do. I mean, you're not doing BigFatPato.com because you make a fortune of money.
No.
I mean, Mainstream Mouse,
That's
they don't make it. We do it
It's a
because we
labor of love.
love
It's a
what we
labor
do.
of love. And you know, it's so funny because you know when we do this for a living too, but it's our passion. It's what we like. Hi, Cheryl.
Hi, Sharon.
But when everything got shut down, our businesses kind of like halted too. So I think that I'm looking forward to just getting back into doing what we love to do. You know.
Having
Yeah, Michelle, I feel like you and I were like Kodak, like our businesses, where all of a sudden film went away and we had to come up with something different. And well, I guess Kodak isn't a good analogy because they really didn't survive, but you have to just change, what you do. So we just totally that was a bad analogy. I have to think. I'll think of another one in a second.
They're like just like Canon or one of the companies like that, Nikon. They had to realize film wasn't it anymore. They had to switch to digital.
I'll go with that. Oh, Netflix. That's the best analogy. Remember they used to mail DVDs?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I know, right? Do you see how they changed their whole business? You don't even remember what their old business was. That's kind of like
Blockbuster will always be around.
Blockbuster.
you know who didn't make it? Redbox. They can't. And what about that movie pass?
I saw one at Publix the other day.
What? One
Redbox.
of those? Do they really have those still?
I think they still do, yeah. A few of them.
They're not as
What did you
popular.
have written down? Did you have any other topics that I'm totally forgetting about?
I don't know. I wrote.
She wrote stuff down.
I just wanted to make sure we talked about what they were doing at the Springs, and then I wanted to talk about Universal, which we did, and then the whole face mask controversy because I just thought that was interesting.
All right, so pull it over to you guys then. Are you going to go June 5th? If you have an annual pass, do you plan to go June 5th to Universal? And I'm sorry, Michelle, whatever question you want.
No.
No. I mean, that's true. Captain EO. No,
This is a good question that I had actually. Mike, if I'm going by Universal, no, but that doesn't mean that I know. Just going by not rumor, but by what Universal is doing and observing, it doesn't appear that Disney will. I can't see Disney saying make a reservation to get into the park and Universal not. But we just don't know at this point.
And how's it going to work if you don't go? If you make a reservation that you don't show?
Yeah, well, if you have an annual pass, it's not going to matter to you, but to another individual, they'd have to either lose money or.
Okay, so this is interesting. Last week, I have people send me messages all the time and ask me questions. People that I don't know, and somebody sent me this article last week, and they had asked. Somebody put out something that they were going to make guests do the reservation thing. Annual pass holders were not going to be of the first into the parks, that they were going to make annual pass holders. Like everything that we've been hearing, they flipped it and said that no annual pass holders, you're going to need a reservation, and all these like very negative things. So one of my Facebook friends messaged the site, and it kind of like duped them a little bit, and they're like, that is really fascinating information. Can you tell me where you got that from? Because it sounded formal. Come to find out, the guy was like, well, I'm just guessing from a business standpoint. So this is why we have to be so careful with what we read, because this guy, sorry, Jack jumped up.
We love Jack.
It sounded absolutely legit. Like this guy knew exactly what was going to happen. Sorry, annual pass holder. Sorry, Florida resident. Sorry, this is what's going to happen. And then when somebody asked him, he said, this just makes business sense.
But it makes no sense, because when they reopen, it's not going to be the tourists that are coming in for the reopening. It's going to be the locals. It's going to be the annual pass holders, because people are not going to travel here to go to the unknown. There is going to be, I'm not going to say nobody. There's going to be a handful of people who will. I'm going to be there opening day, because it's just like it was in 1971. It's a reopening type thing. People want to be there for it. But the majority of us that will be there that day will be annual pass holders, or like us, who this is what we do for a living, and we need to be there to cover the event, just like a media news agency would be there. We have to be there to cover it, because it's big news that Disney's reopening. And how's it going? My
point was, though, is that be so careful. Everybody who's watching, be so careful with what you read, because not everything that you read is going to be the truth. And, people were getting upset by what this person was saying. And it's like, that's why, we say it all the time. John and I feel exactly the same. We don't put information out unless it's from Disney, even if we know, even if we hear it through the grapevine, even if, we don't say it, because we wait for Disney, and a lot of people don't. And I'm not slamming anybody. I'm saying that's how we do our business. Mm-hmm. And then when we have people message us about these other articles, it's kind of like, oh my gosh, but that article in particular, the reason I'm bringing it up is because I got messages and people were upset about it. And then it ended up being just somebody's guess, kind of like when there was that the analyst who said Disney's not going to open until 2021, and everybody picked that story up, and it wasn't true. So you just please be so careful. Check with your travel agents, check with Disney themselves, because there's so much being said right now. And
yeah, and I'm not just saying this for me and Michelle, but have some trusted bloggers, vloggers that you trust. Follow them, and you'll always be able to find out what's correct and what's coming out, what's true. And if there is a rumor, they will specify, listen, this is a complete guess. So,
Yeah.
you know what's something that wasn't covered, and correct me if I'm wrong, Universal never did mention anything about pricing changing, right?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay, so we can assume right now, maybe, it's all the same. Again, we don't know.
Right now, they want to keep it the same, or lower. To get
I think if they were changing prices for June 5th, we'd hear about it by now, but again, don't know. But I remember after that survey that they gave to everyone, I'm assuming they got enough no's for double the price so let's keep it that way.
But like you said, though, John, you had a very good point. When they opened, thank you. When it opens, like, you can look at it, you can put a positive spin on anything. Yeah, you might have to wear a face mask. Yes, there might be restrictions, but like you said, less wait times, less crowds. I really think that it's not a bad thing. You have to look at the bright side, and you're getting some Disney back. And yeah, I mean, people are like, are they going to change the pricing of the parks and all that? Well, no. I mean, if you think about it, they've taken a loss because they've been closed for 2 months.
And don't think their bills were zero all these months.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because they still had to test the rides all the time. The rides were tested daily so many times to keep them running the way they're supposed to be. So they had the employees to do that. And if anything broke them, they had to fix it. And
I think of it as your house. If you leave for a month and go away, your house still has some bills, still has to be heated or cooled to a certain degree. You have to take care of your pets, in that kind of respect. There's still, could you imagine the kitchens have to be maintained. You can't just open them up.
No.
You have to stock them, keep them clean.
Think about when they open. All of those goodies that they gave away to the food banks, they're gonna have to,
restock them. Yeah.
It was like the video from Toy Story Land a couple weeks ago where the guy was just using the hose spraying down the dirt.
Yes.
And how much dirt had gone on the walkways after just a few weeks at that point.
Here's another thought. Meat. Did you see how much meat prices went up? So let's say you're a restaurant and you have certain margins in order to keep your doors open. Chef Art Smith, Homecoming. You may have to change now your menu or your pricing because you can't get that piece of meat, or it's that much more expensive that to make that meal you can't make any money. It's really amazing. Boathouse has to. I wonder, did anybody look at any pricing yesterday?
Well, STK had a sign outside of theirs for a lunch special. It was a cheeseburger and fries for $10.99. They were running a special. STK $11 for lunch. That's a good deal.
Because STK is usually pricey, isn't
it? They must have had just a good supplier for meat.
Exactly.
I know for me things went up double in public, so I'm just thinking it's got to be something for the big industries too to keep up on.
And when you're buying the amount Disney's buying, the tons, not by a pound, they're buying by the tons. It's a lot. Think about how much they put on a boat when they do a cruise. I mean,
oh my gosh, all the food on a cruise ship, because that's all do on cruises eat.
Yeah. So what are the cruise now just takes care of the staff, I guess, and. And they still got to travel around a little bit, right? Like they still need gas. They don't just dock, or are they docked now?
They got to keep everything running. And I mean, how do they keep it all running on the ship? It's got to be run through different generators and different motors and stuff. Well, that all takes something to move it. It's not solar.
It's amazing what happened to the world. Nobody planned.
A couple weeks ago, they had that live cam at Port Canaveral because all three of the 4 Disney ships were in port.
And wasn't that temporary?
I think it was. I don't know if they're still there, but I know that people were watching the webcams at night because, like on Pirate Night, John, how like the water slide has like the lights going around, and you see the lights on that deck up there. They were putting the lights and stuff on the cruise ships, and people were just getting excited because it just made you remember how great it is.
And that costs money. I mean, it's not free to turn all that on. So it's like Disney is still trying to give the magic back some way to keep people hope that it's going to return. It's just.
But what does that show you that people are watching a webcam to see lights on a boat just because they miss it so much? That's Disney.
This is a good last topic here. The buffets. Again,
No.
places here like Sweet Tomatoes, they've closed for good. They could not see a way around
I
it.
love the sweet tomatoes, by the way.
Me too. Sweet Tomatoes was like
For a while.
all the side dishes with no entree.
I love side dishes, John. I could
Me
eat
too.
a whole meal
Me
on
too.
side dishes.
Me too. I agree. But let's go back to Disney. Something like 1900 Park Fair, an amazing
Favorite.
buffet. They might be able to modify that now, where you go with your tray and maybe a person hands you something. People may not like that. When I say hands you, I mean
Like family
serves your
style.
They
like
serve-
family style, right?
Like instead of put a big bowl of mashed potatoes on your table and then a bread basket and stuff, instead of you going up there and getting your own.
So how they do it at Ohana more than how they do it
Oh
say,
yeah,
at
like
Trails End.
Ohana. Yeah, they bring your whole basket to your table.
I agree with that. Yeah, there's a psychology thing with the buffet where people could just go up and get what you wanted. Now, when you have to see somebody and they have to know how much, you're a gavone and you ate this much, you may be like, I don't want to go back up there again. He already knows I already had macaroni and cheese. I don't know. I'm just guessing little things,
People are
that
like
might
that.
be.
I'm that way.
Can I have an extra piece of cheesecake when you're on your way back up? You know?
Or you have to wait till they change the guard. No, he's the one that served it to me last time.
We've been here for 3 hours.
There's a blonde now. Come on.
I know. Can I get you anything else? Actually, yes.
Is it time for your break?
You gotta just not be worried about that sort of thing and just order that extra bowl of mac and cheese or whatever you want.
Guys, we're nearing the hour mark. If you have any questions for myself, for Michelle, now's the time to ask it. We do have a little surprise for you to end this. Michelle, you know what it is.
I know what it is.
Scott may not, but I think he
I do.
does.
You
So,
know, Also, just a reminder before we take questions or before we go to John's surprise.
no, it's your surprise too.
Okay, well,
It's your surprise too.
our surprise. Don't forget Raglan Road, Labor Day weekend. We have our live show, and then House of Blues October 25th for a live show. And yes, Disney Springs is open, and we are going to work on getting our shows back going again.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, somebody may have met with the president of Disney Springs and he asked about things.
Yeah, I did. I
So
talked
that's
to Matt
nice.
Simon yesterday. He came up to me. He said they're excited to get LOL back at the Springs, and so he said any help we need, let him know, and he will make sure it happens soon. So I know we have Weimar George on the
list.
on
Yeah.
the list. House of Blues wants us in there before October, and there's another big one that we're working on. That's probably.
But we're not going
to
to say because that's a surprise.
can't-
We don't know about June, but I'm feeling 50-50 maybe with a June show.
I'm 50-50, and towards
Okay.
the end of June.
Towards the end of June. All right, I
Yeah,
like that.
especially if they make more announcements for parks and such. But we're gonna reach out. If not June, then July for sure.
Yes.
But how cool is that we're at the Springs yesterday and he just walked up and said,
Yeah, I was
"Can't
taking
wait to have
pictures.
you guys
Yeah.
back." So we must
That's
be
really
doing
nice.
something right, John. We must be doing something right.
Did we hear about an opening for Raglan Road? Is that the 27th or we don't know?
I don't think we know yet.
Okay.
I'm sure we'll know more as we get closer to the 27th, because we didn't know everything that was opening yesterday until just 2 days before.
Yeah.
Really.
Debbie, on the 27th, Michelle and I and Scott will go look over there and see if there's a sign or ask someone and see if we can find out.
Because
For
I
you.
know that a lot of the restaurants opened yesterday. More were supposed to open tomorrow on the
Yes.
22nd, and then like a lot of the rest would be the 27th. So if I'm gonna make an educated guess, I would say by the 27th, almost everything's going to be open
Yeah.
again.
Yesterday was about what they say, about 30% of what's down there. There was 44 things that opened yesterday.
Yeah.
There's something like 106 shopping stores, 40 some
Like some of the
restaurants,
walk-ups
so-
weren't open. Like, they have like the walk-up Dole Whip area and stuff, the one stand, and they have like they had like the smoothie or the popcorn.
popcorn booth.
So,
And a lot of them, they weren't open when we first got there. They didn't open till 11:30.
so we just had to wait and see.
Alicia can't.
Alicia, yay! We can't wait to get back and see you guys. We miss doing the shows,
Definitely.
and I can't wait.
I really do. I miss that whole, when we do it like this, we don't have that, the energy from the room. I mean, we get it from the comments, but you know it's not the same as when you're actually in the room. There is an energy. There is something that gets
That's
past.
why we took it up that notch. That's why we wanted the live audience there to give us that little bit of a more of a push, even. Than we
There
already
is
had.
nothing like being able to see people's faces when you're talking to them, and then being able to stay afterwards and give everybody, you know, a thank you to their face for coming. So I love that part.
I hear you, Yvonne. I just don't want to stop the show for you, but I hear you.
What I can't see.
It's okay. She's commenting. She says, "Don't ignore me, Panda."
Oh.
So this is a good segue. The surprise that we've gotten. Michelle made like she didn't know, but she did know. We discussed it. We wish that we could hug you, we could kiss you goodbye, but we can't right now. We will again. I'm not getting rid of hugs, believe me. So we thought, if we do a little kiss goodnight from the Magic Kingdom, and you can leave if you don't want to watch it, but I hope you stay because this is our goodbye. But we're going to give you the kiss goodnight from the Magic Kingdom. And I don't know, for me, this makes me sad because I want it back and it's very nostalgic. And we love you guys. Good night.
Good night.
Oh, Tuesdays, 8 p.m. is my Panda show. Michelle, what do you have any other shows?
Monday
Radio
at
stuff?
7.
Monday at 7.
Monday at 7 as always. I always get confused between 7 and 8 p.m.
You ask
So-
me every week what time.
I do.
Depends what coast you're on. Bye,
night,
guys.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, on behalf of everyone here at Magic Kingdom, we thank you for joining us today for a magical gathering of family, friends, fun, and friends. We hope that your magical journey with us has created wonderful memories that last a lifetime. Walt Disney said that the Magic Kingdom is a world of imagination, hopes, dreams. In this timeless land of enchantment, magic and make-believe are reborn. Fairy tales come true. The Magic Kingdom is a place for the young and the young at heart. A special place where when you reach across the heart, until we see you again, have a safe trip home. Thank you and good night.
So long, everybody.